get the 2023 Clownfish comic books, including Crimson Wren Volume 1 and previously on Clownfish TV. We're offering a limited number of these books. In our second chance offer, go to shopclownfish.com. That's shopclownfish.com. Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it is time for another daily dose of dismal Disney. Everybody seems worried about Disney's stock, and now it seems like even the mainstream media is calling out, can we say it? Wokeness.
Yeah, I don't like that word, but you can say it.
Wokeness.
They're saying it. The Wall Street Journal's saying it.
The Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal is blaming Disney's quote-unquote wokeness on its stock decline, on its misfires at the box office, on streaming challenges, because a lot of the shows are quote-unquote woke.
Yeah, they doubled down on this agenda-driven stuff. And, and the kicker is you can do shows that are inclusive, that have some of the same messages in it, and do it in a way that has finesse and is nuanced. These people just want to keep hitting you in the face with it.
With their giant Mickey gloves. This could be part of the reason that one of the big moves at Disney was to toss their diversity and inclusion officer overboard.
Yeah, and everybody else started following suit.
Everybody else, there were like 4 or 5 major quote-unquote exits. We know they got fired. We know they got pushed out because they're looking at the bottom line. They're like, hey, why are people not watching our shows? Why are they not watching our movies? Oh, everybody's saying it's because they're too political. That might be a problem.
Well, no, they keep blaming on the pandemic. The pandemic's been over for how long now?
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's 2023. All that stuff was 2021. You can maybe get away with early 2022, maybe. It's been over for a long time. You can't use that excuse anymore.
Something Trump. I'm like, yeah, he's been out of office for how many years now?
Something pandemic.
Yeah, right. So yeah, they're out of excuses. And we're going to talk about this because I think the next investor call, the next earnings call is going to be very, very interesting. Bob's got a lot of splaining to do. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants, guys. If you do, you'll get woohoo.
Woohoo!
So you got woohoo today. Look at that. Yeah, so let's look at the Disney stock. Oh, that's not good.
Real quick, the question, is the article going to blame it on Chapek?
I don't think they do. I think they're basically...
Because it seems like every other, kiss-ass article out there is like, it's all Chapek's fault, except, yeah, Chapek did make some missteps, and I think he's the one that put them in this position. But, it was Bob Iger's choices that led to that decline in the first place. Sorry, go back to the stock.
Well, no, I was going to say, because Bob Iger, and we said before, Bob Iger posturing for what we believe was a presidential run.
Well, I remember when it was time to, do the whole finalizing of, Biden being elected as president. And he got up there and basically told the Republicans that if they didn't do what he wanted, they were to cut their contributions.
Yeah.
Because we told you then, they give to both sides.
Yeah.
They clearly give more to one side than the other, but they give to both sides. They always do this because then they always have someone in their pocket.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, let's look at the stock. Oh, look at that. It dropped today quite a bit. Actually, it was, around $88 a share, and now it's down to $86 a share.
Interesting. I also know that they got some news today. One of us today, but last couple of days that their cruise line lost a bunch of money.
Oh yeah, and
wasn't doing well. Now, to be fair, that one was impacted heavily by the pandemic, and they didn't even get up. They weren't even starting to make money until last year, the end of last year. They're going to come back online, but it's just going to take a while.
Oh yeah. It's going to take a while for those to come back. But they have how many more cruise ships?
They have, the Disney Treasure is coming next year. Then there's that one they bought that was 75% complete from that one Hong Kong firm. I think that's coming in 2025. And then I think there's another ship after that.
They bought, didn't they buy?
Yeah, they did. It was 75% complete. They bought another ship. So they planned 3 more, and then now they're adding 4 more.
So I'm pulling this up. This actually came out today. This is Seeking Alpha. This is again a pretty objective financial site. And they're talking about why Disney stock is in the position it's in right now, and they actually do mention politics.
I think a lot of it is, there's a reason why they've always told people, the old adage, do not talk about politics or religion in business.
Yep.
There is a reason for this, because you run the risk of alienating a bunch of your audience.
Yep. So this is their takeaway on Seeking Alpha. Despite decent financial results in the first half of fiscal year 2023, Disney's recent box office disappointments, reports of low theme park traffic, and controversial content decisions raise concerns about its future performance and current valuation.
Now, I will say the reports of low theme park traffic has been exaggerated. Yeah, it's not as bad, but it's gotten probably worse now because everybody's like, oh, low crowds, and they all ran down there and made it 10 times worse.
Disney lost 4 million streaming subs in Q2, with the majority coming from India. They also experienced a decline in North American subscribers, which could be an early warning sign of future issues. Bullet point number 3. The company's increasing ideological content and lack of diversity of viewpoints within leadership could potentially hurt the brand, as evidenced by recent controversies and potential backlash from more conservative customers.
And by considering customers, it doesn't mean you're alt-right. I think it's just even people in the middle. They're just like tired of it. I think even if they agree with some of the things Disney's saying, they're just so tired of being hammered with it. They're just like, I don't want to hear it anymore. Can we just have entertainment that's just fun because it's entertainment? Do we have to race bend every character? Do we have to hit every checkbox constantly? It's getting tiresome.
Yeah. They said, in other words, they're taking on progressive positions, that they're basically just everybody is in lockstep at Disney with no naysayers available in the room to raise concerns.
Not allowed.
Because everything's coming out of California. It's coming out of Hollywood. It's coming out of Burbank, Glendale.
Yeah, because California's doing so well.
They're doing so well, and nobody's pushing back. So there's
not like everybody's leaving California or anything.
Yeah, I know, right? So nobody at Disney, though, is pushing back. They're not saying, hey, you know what? Maybe this isn't a good idea. Maybe this isn't a good idea.
They're too afraid to. They're afraid they're going to get smeared all over the media.
So that leads us into this article. Again, this is coming from the Wall Street Journal, not Breitbart.
The alt-right publication.
The alt-right. Well, some people actually do consider the Wall Street Journal alt-right because it's a capitalist publication. Yeah.
That's funny.
So this is, again, this is an opinion piece, but it is an opinion shared by many people. When revenue is declining anyway, it doesn't help to alienate half of your audience with political posturing. Wokeness hobbles Disney as it faces streaming challenge. They're talking about how Disney stock has fallen by more than half in the past 2 years.
Well, I think that's why you can't argue it. It's just an opinion because the proof's in the pudding.
Numbers are there. People can have opinions.
Racist.
Well, people can have opinions about the content. They're more than welcome to have opinions about the content. We've been talking about the decline in Disney content for years, but now it's catching up to them because they can't say that people aren't spending money and going to the movies. We just did a video yesterday talking about Barbie and Oppenheimer destroying it at the box office. Now, some would argue that Barbie is a pretty political movie too, but regardless, you can't use that excuse anymore. There's something wrong with Disney. There's a reason that people are rejecting specifically Disney products at this point.
They've been sucking?
They've been sucking. Yeah, it's not just politics. It is a bunch of different things. I said streaming services losing billions of dollars annually. There's no question that streaming has disrupted the economics of TV, but they're talking about the live action remake of Snow White, and it illustrates another business problem. Disney has elevated progressive pieties over originality and tradition, which may be alienating its customer base. Now, this isn't just the Wall Street Journal. Seeking Alpha is saying the same thing.
That's because they're all this alt-right rags.
And they're talking about the magical creatures and the diverse crew. They're talking about how on Disney Plus, they have warnings before, Dumbo and Peter Pan and the Jungle Book.
I mean, some of them make sense. Some of them are just dumb.
They said that thanks for the trigger warning, but most parents don't need to be hit over the head with things they already know. Yet that's what Disney's newer films, along with most of Hollywood's productions, do. They hit you over the head with left-wing cultural mores over and over and over again. And Mr. Iger, who agrees with some of this stuff, I believe, except for the strike. He agrees with all the progressive talking points except for the strike. He's attributed Disney's financial problems to disruption from streaming. That's probably part of it. The
streaming service that he set up?
The streaming service that he set up, yeah. But that's not it. That's not it. Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, Hulu, as they point out, they've all lost money. Disney Plus alone lost 4 million subscribers. Hulu lost $659 million. When cable dominated, people had to pay for channels whether they watched them or not. Now they don't.
True.
They don't have to. Mr. Iger blames overproduction an industry-wide problem. Basically, she's going through point by point and being like, everything Bob Iger is saying is a fucking lie.
Well, yeah, because I mean, that would mean everybody would be in the same position, and they're not all in the same position.
Yeah. You have to try numerous dishes before finding one that hits the spot. Who has the time?
Well, right, but that's what they're doing. They're not blaming on this, and he's kind of letting Chapek take the fall.
Disney's classic options and audience base gives it an advantage over other streaming services. That's it. People are paying for Disney Plus to watch a lot of the classic shows, right?
Well, and they said the parents pay it because there's a lot of educational stuff on there. They just leave the TV on, let kids watch it, which is true. Babysitter.
And they're talking about this. They said that this is supposed to be a family-friendly service, and they said Disney is conceding this advantage to curry favor with the cultural left. No doubt many millennial parents, are there millennial parents? There aren't as many of them, I don't think, but no doubt, no, I'm kidding. No doubt many millennial parents don't mind if their toddlers see cartoon lesbians kissing, but others do. Well, I don't know. Many don't like how Disney is recasting classics to exalt diversity for the sake of diversity. Basically, that they're just putting things on there for the sake of diversity. And again, I think Disney knows there's a problem because who did they just get rid of? During Pride Month.
I know, right?
During Pride Month, they tossed their diversity and inclusion boss, czar, whatever her thing, they tossed her overboard. And they didn't even let her make an exit statement. They had the HR
Yeah,
lady.
it was like in the middle of the night. Yeah.
So she got fired. She totally got fired.
But it is interesting to me because they go on down here about Mr. Iger criticizing the actors and the strike. So they're trying to have their cake and eat it too, because on one side they're talking about how progressive they are and how we have to, they're basically embracing, far leftist ideology type things and that. And then they're turning around and saying, but unless it comes to money, and then we're far right.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's what's so weird about this.
It was the worst of times.
Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing how all it took was for the money to run out for everybody to just suddenly change their moral compass?
Did they change, or are they just showing you who they really are?
Because I think the reason all these studios were chasing diversity and inclusion is they thought, erroneously, they thought there was money in it, or they were being told there was by investors.
I think that, and I think because these different award shows started mandating this stuff, and then you had the whole people aren't going to like you if you don't do what we want, and that's not working anymore. I think there's a lot of reasons, but yeah, they let people. I think also people that came into positions of power had a certain mindset that is now costing the company a lot of money, and then they get gone in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I think basically what happened is you let a couple people in, and then they started hiring a couple more people, and then it just kind of escalated. Once you let people in that were there for ideological purposes, your job is to be an ideologue and look at our content and tell us what's wrong with it based on your own point of view.
Here's the thing.
You open up, Pandora's box.
Shareholders don't care if you're far left. They just want to see the money. The higher ups of the company that get bonuses and stuff, they just want to see the money.
Yeah.
They don't care what the hell they'll tell you whatever you want to hear if it means you're going to open your wallet and give them your money.
Yeah. And that's what they're talking about. I mean, all the money sites now, Wall Street Journal and Seeking Alpha, and there are several others. They're like, hey, maybe there is something to this Disney being woke thing that's affecting their box office.
Yeah, but they can't just pivot now. They needed to change this years ago, and they didn't.
They're going to use the strikes to pivot.
Buy time, yeah.
To buy time. Honestly, if Disney decided tomorrow, just hypothetically speaking, they decided tomorrow that they were going to turn over a new leaf and they were going to completely realign their
Let's
content.
go back to center.
It would probably take them 5 years.
Probably.
To start putting out stuff.
I low-key am hoping that the strikes will give them a reason to cancel those live-action remakes that nobody wants. Because a lot of it is even just about wokeness and quote-unquote. I don't like using that term. A lot of it is because they keep doing stuff people don't want. Like, people have told them time and time again, we don't want any more live-action remakes. We don't want any more live-action remakes. They're usually dog shit. No thank you. And they keep bringing out more live-action remakes.
I mean, a lot of stuff was greenlit during better times.
So what? They've canceled other things before that did better. I mean, they're going to use this time to be like, hey, you know what? Guess we're canceling all those. They're smart. That's what they do.
Well, that's basically what's happening now. Is Hollywood isn't getting rid of diversity. Hollywood is expunging, since we're using that word, they're expunging themselves of the far left activists that have infiltrated the entertainment industry and have been trying to change everything to suit their sensibilities and the sensibilities of academia or whatever the hell they think they're doing, but they've actually alienated large portions of the audience, and they've taken their money with them and they've gone someplace else. And again, Disney is not the only company doing it, but they've become kind of the poster child for it, because every damn thing they do now, obviously has some kind of political
and it's obviously failing.
And it's obviously failing.
Anyway.
So we're going to wrap this up, I think, right? Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.
Bye.
Help support the channel. Go to thereef.support and get early access to podcasts, videos, and other content. That's thereef.support.